This is what period of time it's in. It's the period where the victims get to say, they've been hurting me for a long time. And I just ain't said nothing because I was trying to be strong and I didn't want to shame anybody.
Yeah, but what? No. You got to drown all of that out, because if you let somebody talk you out of a place that God has put you in, you are going to find yourself in hell. I know for a fact that what I'm doing is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. We're talking a large portion of my fans who are disenfranchised, who cannot get in the Volvo and go to therapy on the weekend.
Katt Williams just blew the lid off Hollywood, and what he said about Tyler Perry has people losing their minds. This isn't just another celebrity jab. This is a straight-up Hollywood earthquake. If you thought the beef in comedy was wild before, wait till you hear this. Katt didn't just throw shade. He brought a whole thunderstorm. On Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast, he flat out called Tyler Perry a menace and warned black male actors to steer clear of him. Yeah, you heard that right. Katt said working with Perry could be career suicide. Tyler Perry is the gatekeeper, Katt declared, and he didn't stutter. According to him, Perry's sitting at the top of Hollywood's black actor pipeline. But instead of lifting people up, he's holding them back. Katt claimed that these actors are getting stuck in the same recycled roles, trapped in a loop that keeps them from breaking through to true superstardom. And here's the wild part. Katt didn't just stop there. He said, if you're working with Tyler Perry, you won't even need security to walk through a mall. That's right. According to Katt, nobody's even gonna recognize you. Imagine being in hit shows and movies, yet still being invisible to the public. He painted a brutal picture. Talented actors walking around unseen, unheard, and underappreciated while Perry collects all the glory. Katt described it like being stuck under a glass ceiling, but not just any glass ceiling, a paralyzed one. You can see the top, but you can't reach it. Once those projects wrap, it's like the world forgets your name. He's saying Perry's empire might look like a golden opportunity, but it's really a trap dressed up as success. Fans online are calling this one of the boldest takedowns of Tyler Perry ever. Social media lit up in seconds. Half the crowd cheering Katt for speaking the truth, and the other half calling him reckless for going after one of Hollywood's most powerful figures. But Katt, he's not backing down one bit. He's making moves that scream he's ready for war. In a GQ interview, Katt dropped another bomb. He's expanding his Hollywood footprint in ways nobody saw coming. The timing? Too perfect to be a coincidence? People are already whispering that he's positioning himself to dethrone Tyler Perry as the next king of black entertainment. He's tired of watching the same old cycle, actors getting boxed in while Perry builds his empire higher. Katt's ready to build his own, and from the way he's talking, he's not asking for permission. The question now isn't if Hollywood's about to change. It's how loud it's going to explode when Katt and Tyler finally clash face to face. This isn't just another celebrity feud. It's shaping up to be a full-blown power struggle for the soul of Black Hollywood. And no, this isn't just another Netflix special or comedy tour. Oh no, Katt Williams is moving like a boss now. The man just made one of the boldest power moves Hollywood's seen in years. He bought a military base. Yeah, you heard that right. A whole former military base in Alabama. Who does that? This isn't some side hustle investment or a vanity project either. We're talking 90 acres of land and a jaw-dropping 10 million square feet of indoor space.
It's been said by multiple sources that Katt has purchased a military base in Alabama to convert into a film studio. Katt purchased the property for right around $1.5 million.
Katt plans to flip this Cold War era base into a massive movie studio. His very own creative fortress. That's not ambition, that's domination. Now, let's be real, this is giving deja vu vibes. Back in 2015, Tyler Perry made headlines when he bought Fort McPherson in Atlanta and turned it into Tyler Perry Studios. But Katt, he's not just copying the blueprint, he's remixing it. This feels like chess, not checkers, and Katt's already thinking 10 moves ahead. The details around the deal are hush-hush. Katt's team confirmed the purchase but kept everything under wraps, especially the price tag. You know there's tea brewing when folks get quiet about the money, but what insiders do know is that the land, Fort McClellan, is valued at around $1.5 million, and now it's under Katt Williams' name. That's major. And here's where it gets spicy. Katt told GQ, it's just not fair to put all that pressure on Tyler Perry. He can only do so much sounds humble, right? But anyone who knows Katt's wordplay can hear the deeper message. He's not just sharing the stage, and he's stepping into it, building his own empire brick by brick. If Katt pulls this off, this move could completely shift the balance of power in Black Hollywood. He's setting himself up to take the baton, or maybe snatch the crown, right from Tyler Perry's hands. And honestly, who could blame him? Katt's been in the game for decades, but this kind of move, This is next level boss energy.
So basically his publicist said that he can't confirm or deny kind of where it is right now, but the Fort McClellan barracks have been for sale for quite a while for $1.5 million.
He's tired of playing on someone else's set. Now he's building his own. A place where actors, especially black creatives, can shine without limits. If his vision comes to life, it might just rival Tyler Perry Studios, maybe even outshine it. But speaking of Tyler Perry, we got to talk about the pressure that comes with his name. Let's keep it real. The man is a self-made billionaire mogul. He turned stage plays into a global empire, owns his own jet, and built one of the biggest studios in America. Yet somehow people still got serious issues with him. The biggest controversy? How black men are portrayed in his work. Many critics, and especially from the black community, have been calling Perry out for years over his recurring character patterns. They say his stories often lean into tired, negative stereotypes that make black men look controlling, toxic, or flat-out villainous. Think back. Steve Harris in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, straight-up nightmare husband, Blair Underwood in Madea's Family Reunion, terrible fiancé. And let's be honest, have you noticed how the darker-skinned men in his movies almost always end up playing the bad guy? Fans have. It's become a trend that's hard to ignore. Some defenders say Perry's just showing real-life struggles, but others aren't buying it. They argue that repeating those same harmful images over and over has real consequences, especially when Perry's one of the few major filmmakers with the power to shape how black life is shown on screen. Even industry legends have called it out. Spike Lee once accused Perry's films of coonery and buffoonery, saying he panders to stereotypes for mass appeal. That's not light criticism. That's Hollywood calling out one of its own. So now the stage is set for a major showdown. Katt's building something new and Perry's defending the throne he built. And with all this tension bubbling, you can feel it. Something big is about to erupt in Black Hollywood.
A lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money, breaking records, but we could do better.
Let's keep it real. Those Madea movies always break box office records. But the real question is, are they actually uplifting the community or just dressing up old stereotypes with a wig and a laugh track? Because not everyone's clapping for Tyler Perry's success anymore. And when it comes to calling him out, nobody did it louder or earlier than Spike Lee. Their feud goes way back, all the way to 2009, when Spike dropped the hammer and said Perry's work was dragging black culture backward instead of pushing it forward. He accused Perry's films of leaning too hard on negative depictions, you know, the loud, angry black women, the abusive men, the over-the-top drama. Spike even compared Perry's movies to The Idiot Box. That one stung.
And when I watch the games on TNT, I see these two ads for these two shows, I'm scratching my head.
No, I mean, look, I'm not saying we're talking. Let's not give them fodder for tabloid. I'm not saying we're talking about Tyler Perry, but those are the shows that we're talking about. If we're talking about that.
But Tyler didn't just take it lying down. Oh no, he came out swinging. During an interview on 60 Minutes, Perry snapped back saying, "I am sick of hearing about damn Spike Lee. Spike can go straight to hell." Yeah, he really said that. The feud exploded from there, with fans and celebs picking sides like it was a heavyweight fight for the culture.
Spike Lee. So he called some of your movies coonery and buffoonery. How'd you receive that?
In the beginning, I was really hurt by it and frustrated by it because I didn't understand, where it was coming from and what it meant. And so I try to find truth. If there's truth, I'm okay with it.
Was there any?
No.
Even with all his money, private jet, and massive studio empire, Perry still can't dodge criticism. Some people in Hollywood are straight up refusing to buy the image he's selling. Take Chris Rock. He's been vocal about how Perry's films always seem to cast dark-skinned black men as the villains, the cheating husband, the abusive partner, the bad guy. Meanwhile, the hero roles always seem to go to lighter-skinned or mixed-race men. That pattern has stirred major outrage, with people accusing Perry of feeding into colorism instead of fighting it. But it's not just the veterans calling him out. There's a new wave of younger, fearless black creatives taking aim at Perry's formula, and they're not holding back. One of the loudest voices? Justin Simien, the filmmaker behind Dear White People. Simien didn't tiptoe around the issue either. His debut film was basically a shot fired at the Hollywood system that Perry helped shape. In one unforgettable scene from the Dear White People trailer, a character flat out says, "Forget Hollywood, forget Tyler Perry." Then another claps back with, "Can we get a film with characters instead of stereotypes wrapped in Christian dogma?" Who? That line hit harder than a plot twist in Diary of a Mad Black Woman. It was a direct jab, calling out the predictability and moral simplicity that many people say Perry's stories rely on.
Mr. Sin, dating a black person to piss off your parents is a form of racism.
The show is racist.
Black people can't be racist. Racism describes a system of disadvantage based on...
But here's where it gets even more interesting. Simeon's work isn't just about throwing shade. It represents a whole shift in black storytelling. This new generation of filmmakers is breaking away from surface-level depictions and showing the full, complicated, beautiful spectrum of black life. They're saying, enough with the cliches, and creating stories that go deeper, ones that feel authentic, not polished for mass approval. And that's what really stings for Perry, because while nobody can deny the doors he's opened for black talent, the newer crowd isn't just walking through them, they're building new ones. They're rewriting the rules, changing the tone, and showing Hollywood that black stories don't have to fit inside the same old box to succeed. So now Perry's at a crossroads, the old guard versus the new school. The question is, can he adapt to this new era of storytelling, or will this next generation leave him behind? Because one thing's for sure, the game has changed, and the young creatives aren't playing by his script anymore. But hold up, we're not done yet, because this story's got even more layers than a Madea wig collection. Remember when Dave Chappelle went on Oprah and dropped that mind-blowing truth bomb about black men in Hollywood being pressured to wear dresses? Yeah, that moment changed the whole conversation.
Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress. That's happened to me.
Chappelle got real about how often black actors, including himself, are pushed into dressing as women for comedy. But he wasn't having it. He refused to put on that dress for a movie scene, even when the studio tried to convince him it was just a joke. He stood his ground, saying something felt off about it. And that moment became legendary. Now here's the twist. Tyler Perry did wear the dress. In fact, he built an empire wearing it. The Madea character made him a global name, and Perry's always defended it, calling it his work uniform. He says nobody forced him, it's just part of his creative vision. But that's where people start asking, is it really just a costume, or is there something deeper going on?
You're right, so why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress.
Look, girl, I need you to get up, honey.
Go away.
Never had no child talk to me like this before. Lord. Honey, I got to bring y'all down to...
Some critics think Perry leaned into that image of the loud, sassy matriarch because it sells, that it's less about art and more about business. Others argue he's just playing Hollywood's game to open doors for himself and others. Either way, one thing's clear. Without Madea, we probably wouldn't even be talking about Tyler Perry as the mogul he is today. That dress might have built his empire, but it also built a mountain of controversy. And speaking of controversy, the drama doesn't stop with the movies. Let's talk about life inside Tyler Perry Studios. For years, whispers have been flying about what it's really like working under his brand. Writers have claimed unfair treatment, and union issues have been at the center of it. There was even that time Perry reportedly fired a whole team of writers from House of Pain after they pushed for union contracts. Yep, they just wanted fair pay and protection, but instead they got shown the door. Fans saw it as a slap in the face, especially knowing how much Perry had profited off those same shows.
I did have a writer's room and did have his situation. It was the worst experience I've ever had in my career dealing with that whole situation. So and the ratings for my shows went down when I had those people because people know my voice.
Behind the glamorous image, people have described Perry's workplace as controlling and chaotic. Some say he micromanages every detail, from the scripts to the lighting, leaving little room for collaboration. And while he's definitely created opportunities for black talent, more than a few insiders believe the environment isn't as uplifting as his public persona suggests. The question keeps coming up. Is he really empowering black artists or just running a one-man show with a smile on top?
Less money now than we were making 10 years ago.
And y'all know about this writer's strike that's going on? I bet Tyler Perry is in his office saying, "This is why I don't hire writers."
And just when you thought things couldn't get any messier, boom, Tyler Perry stirred the pot again. This time on Keke Palmer's podcast, Baby, This is Keke Palmer, What was supposed to be a casual, feel-good chat turned into one of the most talked about interviews of the year. During the convo, Perry addressed his critics and came for them hard, calling them highbrow, and even dropping an old-school racial term to describe black folks who look down on his films. Yep, he really said it. Perry claimed that his audience isn't made up of the Hollywood elite or critics sipping lattes in the hills. He said his fans are disenfranchised people, folks who can't hop in the Volvo and go to therapy on the weekend. Basically, everyday people dealing with real-life struggles, not folks who nitpick over film structure and symbolism. Now that comment hit different, and not in a good way. Some saw it as Perry standing up for his core audience, while others thought he was drawing a line between educated black viewers and working-class ones, turning his critics into enemies instead of engaging with the conversation.
So you've got this highbrow who is all up in the air with his nose up looking at everything. And then you got people like where I come from and me who are grinders, who really know what it's like.
Either way, the fallout was instant. Social media blew up. Fans started debating whether Perry was defending his art or dodging accountability. And at this point, it's clear. Whether you love him or can't stand him, Tyler Perry has a way of keeping everybody talking. Tyler's whole point was basically, who are these so-called highbrow critics to decide which black stories deserve to be told? He came in hot, questioning why folks who don't live the struggle think they can speak for the people who do. But let's be real, that's where things started getting messy fast. See, Perry wasn't just defending his films, he went in on the people who, as he put it, discredit the grinders. He was talking about the everyday folks, the ones raised by mothers who worked as housekeepers, beauticians, and caregivers just to keep the lights on. He said those are the stories that matter, the ones Hollywood ignores while chasing awards and validation. And honestly, you can't blame him for wanting to highlight real working-class black lives. That part hit deep.
Whose mothers and were caregivers for white kids and were maids and housekeepers and all of these beauticians. That don't discount these people and say that their story don't matter. Who are you to be able to say which black story is important or should be told? Get out of here with that, boy.
Yes, and that is what we come up against. It's like you said, the respectability politics that we're always pushing up against, which at the end of the day, what we are facing and what we are oppressed again, it doesn't matter how well you speak, it doesn't matter how well you walk, it doesn't matter how well you do anything. If somebody's going to not like you, they're going to not like you, period. Right. So holding ourselves to these unbelievable standards that stop us from being able to tell our true stories and connect to one another, it only, like you said, puts us in a personal hell and doesn't allow us to really be all that we're meant to be because we're too busy trying to fit into somebody else's idea.
But not everyone was clapping. His comments rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, especially when it started sounding like he was dividing the community, like it's either the struggle or the scholars, no in between. That's when Preston Mitchum, activist and Bravo star from Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, stepped in swinging. Preston didn't hold back at all. He fired shots on social media saying, yeah, because writing a movie where a black woman gets cheated on, contracts HIV, and ends up physically disabled is really the groundbreaking story we need right now. Whew! He dragged Perry's storytelling for being more traumatic than inspirational, calling out how Perry keeps repackaging pain as empowerment. And then Preston hit him with the knockout punch. He pointed out the irony that Perry, a literal billionaire, was calling others highbrow. That had people online shaking their heads like, make it make sense, Tyler. Fans were split, some defending Perry for staying true to his roots, others accusing him of playing victim while sitting at the top of the Hollywood food chain. At this point, Tyler Perry's not just making waves, he's making whirlpools. The conversations around him have turned into something bigger. It's no longer just about one man, one studio, or one dress-wearing character. It's about what kind of stories get told, who gets to tell them, and what those stories really say about black life on screen. So now we're left asking, is Tyler Perry truly a gift to the culture, giving voice to the voiceless? Or is he just misunderstood, a powerhouse blinded by his own empire? Why are so many black creatives quietly stepping away from his orbit? And the biggest question, does building an empire mean losing touch with the very people you started out to represent? I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get into it. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you ring that bell because the next one is going to be even juicier. Up next, we're diving into what Monique really said about Oprah and Tyler Perry and the dark Hollywood connections nobody's talking about. Trust me, you do not want to miss it.